It's Joe here. So, good news, bad news. So, bad news. I had to take my car mount out for my cell phone into the other car while this one was getting worked on. Got messed up. So now I'm stuck without a car mount. That's the bad news. The good news is, I don't know. It was a less of a shitty day than normal. So let's go with that. So anyway, the pinata effect. So I'm currently going through the book. I think it's called like Power of One More or something like that by Ed Milet. I think I talked about it in another video. Um, so anyway, so I'm watching this book or listening to this book. And the one thing I talked about was the pinata effect, which I actually did like because it's the first time I kind of heard it at this point, even though I've like listened to like countless people at this point. But the pinata effect is kind of similar to like compound interest and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, when you're trying within your business or life or exercise or whatever it happens to be, we don't really see that much progress, similar to like a pinata. Like the way they explain it in the book is like, the kids, birthday party, the pinata, like kids are whacking at it, but it's not doing anything. Like candy hasn't fell out, so like the kids are disappointed that they didn't get it on their try, right? And then after several kids, it finally opens up, and it's not because the last person was able to cause the damage. It was because of that cumulative effect that was causing that damage over time, and then it just so happened like there was that one last straw that broke the camel's back kind of thing that finally released the candy. And it seems like a lot of times it's like that. I know for myself I get discouraged a lot. I don't even know if discouraged is the right word. I get bored. Like I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but like if I'm doing shit for a while and like I'm just not seeing progress, like I'm bored, right? And then when I get bored, then like I'm losing motivation, and then I just stop doing it. So it's frustrating, right? So I don't know if that helps in your daily life when you're going through that shit. On a side note, so I did have a conversation with my salesperson. I think I talked about this in the other video. Not that anyone watches this shit, so that's okay. But I guess it's for me to like really go back and like watch this stuff later on in life. But so I always talk about how Phil was doing compared to the other salespeople, and like he was at like 26, 29% closing or for the consultation rate. Everyone else is like 10 and 12%. Actually, it's closer to like 10. And then, so anyway, I had a conversation with my salesperson last week, and I told her that it's no longer acceptable of 10%. Now the goal is 15%, right? So anyway, I'm going through, and so today is Wednesday. So Monday, is that Wednesday? Yeah, today's Wednesday. Jesus. So anyway, with the summertime and everything else, like the call volume slowed down, but I'm like looking at the report and I only saw a handful of consultations. And then like at the end of today, we had a total of 9 for the week, which is pretty good, right? And the fact that we do convert at this point about 70% of those into jobs. So at this point with the 9 and the 7, so that looks like we'll probably book about 6 jobs out of that. So that's pretty cool, right? And so anyway, I looked at her closing percent, and she's actually at 18%, right? Or actually, it was like 18 and a half or something like that, which is insane. It's almost double, right? And so I sat down with her today. I'm like, so what changed, right? And believe it or not, I think it's mostly mindset, right? There was one thing that she tweaked, or actually, there's 2 things that she tweaked, right? And it was basically instead of kind of like briefly going over, what you kind of get with our company as far as like we install fences. So of course you get the fence, but like what other shit do you get besides the fence, right? Between the project manager and the on-site consultant slash supervisor kind of deal. And before she would just briefly go over, it's like, you have the project manager to make sure everything goes nice and smooth. And then you have TJ that comes out and blah, 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 right? And it was just short and sweet like that. And then she's like, instead, what we started doing is we like go into more detail, right? Because I think a lot of times we don't like talk that much. But she's like, you have the project manager, and she does, A, B, A through F or G, or actually it's like many things that she does. But like, here's everything that she does, right? And then here's everything that TJ does, right? And now that I'm thinking about this and kind of talking out loud, it's like, maybe even asking that customer at the end of that, it's like, most of these other companies are only running with, one person, right? Where the owner's doing everything and everything else, right? And so do you think they would be able to handle that, right? And or another way is like if you go to call that person and they have to do all this stuff, do you think you're gonna be able to get in touch with them, right? So that's there. And then the other thing is with the consultation, and this is what ow, my freaking neck. The one thing that we talked about, it's like just being more confident and comfortable with having that conversation. So she is. It's more nonchalant. And I said it must feel nicer that before you had to like basically talk to one out. You had to basically talk to 10 or even 11 people to book a consultation. I'm like, how does it feel that you're only talking to like five now? And like she feels a hell of a lot better. I think it's going to be more addictive because like before it's like it seems like a waste of time for her. I don't even think it's like the money, but it's more of a waste of time like talking to these people. Now she's having better conversations and she's like now, like because I'm booking that, I don't have to follow up with as many people, right? So but anyway, I just wanted to kind of share my progress. I did have a interview with a few people at this point. um, some were very good. Actually, most were decent because I did post in the fence group, so I'm getting a lot of fence guys that are doing it. Which I wanted some of them ideally with fence experience, but it wasn't super necessary. Um, but then the more and more I think about it, we have to make sure, even though they sound good and everything else, like, have they really done this type of job before? Are they going to be able to do the job, right? Because most of them, like, after talking to several of them, realizing like they don't really have a sales process, right? They're kind of just doing whatever. Whereas that's what we were doing last year, but now because of the sales training and everything else, it's very methodical what we're doing, right? Right. So we're putting notes in the system for every call. Are you scheduling follow-ups every call? Are you going through your follow-ups every day? Are you going through your drop-a list and all that kind of stuff? So anyway, so that's where I'm kind of at. So anyway, hope that whole pinata effect helped you at all. I hope my neck does not give out. So yeah, enjoy your day.